Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel, where today we're going to be watching Vinland Saga episode 3 and presumably episode 4 right after it as well. So finally caught up. In the last episode I sort of gave the greater context of the current historical situation at hand, right? So more specifically, this is when Sweyn Forkbeard has decided to invade England based on the context of a massacre, right? The Saint Biersis Day, whatever that's pronounced, massacre, where some Norsemen were killed, and so using this as an excuse, Sweyn Forkbeard decided to invade England, and he's got the Jomsvikings on his side as well, as we have known from his past exploits. They've been allies for quite a long time now. So anyways, that is the greater historical context. Right now, what we're focused on, however, is on Thor's story, and more specifically how he deserted the Jomsvikings, and now is presumably going to be punished for it. Now, we know that the Jomsvikings are a very strict militaristic group. They have their own creed, if you will, so they probably won't take lightly to someone deserting on the battlefield. With that said, however, they have basically let him go free for 15 years, so it's also potentially something that's being driven by individual actors, and not really, being ordered to kill or dispose of him or punish him by way of the entire Jomsviking organization. So, anyways, we'll see what happens within this episode, but I think it's a safe bet to say he's probably not gonna come back live. Alrighty, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. I probably should have skipped this part. Oh well. I mean, I'm thinking Forrest has to die, otherwise Thorfinn will not be able to start his adventure, right? His story. Okay. Troll. Huh. It's a bit different, the kanji down there and the troll, which use little letters on top. The kanji is more like the ghost of battle, the demon of war, something like that. Okay, there we go. Oh, okay. So why didn't you kill him? More importantly, why now? Yeah, there has to be something more to this. Hmm, this is fishy. I think he's doing this of his own accord. Oh. Huh. That's... okay. So that was a show of force on the mercenary side. If you don't even know how he looks like, how are you gonna kill him? I think probably. Oh, damn. Okay. This dude actually has some skill and talent. Both himself and his men. Okay. Let me skip this real quick. I'll see you guys in a second. Back. Oh, he's just about to set sail. I'm still undecided on whether this dude is gonna be one of the first to die, or if he's gonna be one of the few to survive. Oh, bent. He's raising a lot of death flags, but there's also a lot of things going for him as well. Wait, another one? Okay. So she's really popular? Alright. Wait, they're gonna put it on 2 ships? 5 people? Okay. Should you be saying that right now? The previous king of Norway. That'd be Olaf the First, right? Because the current king of Norway is actually Sweyn Forksbeard. I mean, it should be. Let's see, 1000. I forgot, is it 1003? 1006? I mean, yeah, it should be Sweyn Forksbeard. That's the king right now. Don't tell me that Thorfinn actually snuck up onto the ship, also. One. Holy shit, this dude. I mean, it doesn't look like there's any place for a stowaway. But in these kinds of conditions, you have to wonder if Thorfinn actually snuck up on board. Like in one of those boxes or something. Yeah. What the f- Yep. This little shit. Can I smack him instead? Ah. Ah. Hmm. Yeah. That's a personal thing. So he can pin the blame on you guys. I mean, I guess what's going through Thor's mind is that it doesn't really matter, because if his plan does really go through, Thorfinn, as well as the rest of the young guys, will be dropped off in Norway. So he's not actually going to be taking him to the battlefield. Okay. Mm-hmm. But I thought the Young's Vikings could not take wives and have children. I mean, I don't really know much about the Young Vikings. I literally looked this up last episode. Daughter of the leader of the army? Hmm. Because you want to get back to your family. Hmm. Get prepared for a lot of droppings. I wonder where they're gonna be ambushed. Hmm. Okay. Trap them. If they really wanted to just kill them, they could just literally rain down arrows right now. Hmm. 'He's gonna be a one-man wrecking army again. No shield? Is he literally going to try not killing them? Holy crap. Mm. Nice. Okay, so since I'm going to be watching episode 4 directly after this, I'll try to keep it brief, but there's 3 things I do want to mention for this episode. Number 1 would be in regards to the planned ambush against Fours, right? So as I was saying, there's definitely something fishy about this situation, and as the character in the episode also pointed out, he thinks it's fishy as well, right? In regards to these kinds of very strict, very disciplined military organizations, I feel like they probably wouldn't want to, carry out an act of punishing one of their own people, and instead outsource it into another party, right? That in itself already should raise a lot of suspicions. It doesn't matter. You can technically say, okay, so maybe it's just being more resourceful so as to not waste men or whatnot. But typically, a lot of these organizations are very close knit, and so they would want to keep these kinds of things within their own ranks, if you will. So that's why I do believe that this is more of a personal effort rather than something that the leader of the Jomsvikings has explicitly said to be done. That is to kill off Fours as punishment, right? So good on them for mentioning that here, and let's just move on and see what happens there. The second part I would like to mention is also in regards to during this episode where Old man Leif Erikson, said that he was friends with the King of Norway, right? The former King of Norway, sorry. So, the former king of Norway, again, right now it should be Sweyn Forkbeard, as the de facto ruler. I believe he has some representatives under him, but he's basically the de facto ruler of the entirety of Scandinavia at this point of time in history. Now, before him, however, it should be Olaf the First of Norway. And so, again, going back to last episode, as I said, during that, Olaf I was one of the guys who really wanted to push Christianity, even forcefully doing conversions, and which is probably what led to his demise, indirectly as well. But anyways, he does have a direct relationship with with Leif Erikson. In fact, he was the person who baptized Leif Erikson. So that's probably why Leif is saying that he's good friends with the King of Norway, and so they might be able to get some help over there. However, King Olaf I is presumably already dead, at least to historical accounts, when he lost the Battle of Swolder, and so he lost his throne as well. He's lost his life, he lost his throne. And the Battle of Swolder, interestingly enough, also has some relation to the characters that we see right now. More specifically, the Battle of Swolder happened because King Olaf I was ambushed by an alliance led by Sweyn Forkbeard, the current overall king. And during the battle, he was ambushed, right? But at that time, he was not only ambushed, he was also double-crossed by one of his allies. That ally being Jarl Sigvaldi. Now, who's Jarl Sigvaldi? He is actually the leader of the Joms Vikings. So, the Joms Vikings were originally allied with King Olaf I. However, during the Battle of Swolder, they decided to betray him and instead allied themselves with Sweyn Forkbeard and his alliance. So, King Olaf I died. He lost his throne and control of Norway, and so now King Sweyn Forkbeard essentially is controlling all of Scandinavia and also has the Joms Vikings as his allies. So there we go, tidy it all up, and so we get to this current situation right now. So just a little bit of history for you guys. And the third interesting thing is also a quite a nice little reference here in the end, where this big dude, I believe he's called Jord, the big dude on the mercenary side who seems to be very capable. He was nomming on a mushroom, right? So with that, I believe he's actually what we call berserkers. So the berserkers are a sort of, I guess, half mythical type of, how should I say, a unit? That sounds too like gamey like. But anyways, it's a certain type of people who reportedly go into sort of like a frenzy during battle, and so they perform very big feats of strength and whatnot. However, they also don't really care friend or foe. At least that's how the myths are stated. Now, it's not entirely certain whether they did exist or not. However, if they did exist, then it's been theorized that they probably were under the influence of some sort of drug in order to enter that kind of frenzy state. And so the mushroom that Jord is nomming on is actually called the Amanita muscaria. And so that is actually the mushroom which purportedly has these sort of effects of hallucinations and then driving you into a frenzied state, if you will. So that has been one of the theories put forth on what happens to these berserkers and why they are able to do the things that they do. Of course, there's also other theories, like maybe the berserkers actually used other substances, or perhaps it was even just as simple as alcohol. That's also some theories put forth. But anyways, it's the general idea is that they consume some sort of outside influence, and so they entered into this frenzy state. Now, like I said, it's not entirely certain, whether these berserkers are, they're really all that special, or they're still some sort of Viking mythos, if you will, because most of the time our understanding of them comes from these sagas, right? Like the Vinland Saga or the other Icelandic or Norse sagas which describe them. However, it's not entirely sure if that is true, or there might be some embellishments within it, as there tends to be within these kinds of epic stories. But anyways, that is probably a reference to that, and so next episode, I'm assuming that guy is gonna go berserk, and we'll be getting to see an epic fight between him and Thor, right? So there we go. And like I said, I'll try to keep this short, so I'll stop right here, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. So until then, stay tuned. Bye bye.